Okay, so for the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden language of the internet. I'm talking about a piece of tech that powers pretty much everything you do online, but, most people have never even heard of it. So let's dive right in. All right, let's just start with a really basic question. I mean, think about it. When you use your phone to order a car, or you open your banking app to check your balance, there's no person in the middle making that happen, right? So how in the world do these totally separate computer systems actually talk to each other? Well, the answer is this simple three-letter acronym. And it's an acronym that, I'm not kidding, basically runs the entire modern digital world. And that answer is API. So what does it stand for? Application, Programming, Interface. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but the idea at its core is actually really simple. An API is just a defined set of rules for how a conversation between two systems is going to go. There's no winging it, no improvising. It's just a totally controlled, predictable way for one program to ask for something from another.
And to really get our heads around this, we're going to use what is honestly the best analogy out there: ordering food at a restaurant.
Okay, let's break this down. So in our little restaurant world, you are what we call the client. That could be your weather app, for example. The kitchen, well, that's the server. That's where all the good stuff is, all the data, all the power to do the work. And here's the most important part: the menu. That is the API. It tells you exactly what you're allowed to order and how you have to ask for it. And the waiter, who's running back and forth, that's the request you make and the response you get back. But what's just as important is what you can't do. You don't just wander back into the kitchen and start grabbing ingredients yourself, right? You don't get to tell the chef exactly how to cook your meal. No, you have to use the menu, the API, which gives you a limited, secure, and structured way to get exactly what you want from the kitchen. Now, this isn't just some clever little analogy. This exact model, this kind of structured conversation, is happening constantly all around you inside the apps you use every single day. Let's take a look at how this actually plays out in the real world. So every single time an API is used, no matter how complicated it seems, it follows this simple three-step dance. First, you've got the request, where one system basically says, hey, here's what I want. Then there's processing, where the other system checks the rules, finds the info, and finally you get the response. Okay, here's your answer. Request, process, response. Every single time. Let's make this really concrete. When you open your weather app, your phone doesn't have some gigantic database of global weather patterns stored on it. Of course not. That would be crazy. It just sends out a little API request, something like, give me today's weather for Detroit. The weather services system processes that and sends back the temperature and the forecast. That right there, that's an API at work. And it's happening everywhere. Seriously. Every time you pay with a credit card, check your bank balance, call a rideshare, or even use your social media account to log into a different website, you're using an API. They're like the invisible threads connecting all the digital services that we depend on. So you might be wondering, why do we need all these strict rules? Why can't these computer systems just, talk to each other directly? Well, it turns out that these rules are absolutely essential for making the digital world stable and, more importantly, secure. And here's the crucial point. The one thing you really need to get. The API is the only way in. It's the only allowed doorway. You don't get a secret back entrance to the database. You don't get to just make up commands. You either use the defined, controlled front door that the API provides, or you don't get in at all. Period. And having that single, guarded doorway, well, that's what makes everything else possible. It's absolutely critical for security, because you can control exactly who comes in. It lets things scale up, because you can manage the flow of traffic. And it's the bedrock of all automation and integration, letting all these different systems work together like a well-oiled machine. Here's another key way to think about it. A website and an API might even live on the same computer, but they are built for completely different audiences. A website is for us, for humans. We click, we read, we type. An API, on the other hand, is for machines. It's designed for systems to send super precise requests and get back clean, perfectly structured data that they can immediately act on, all automatically. So if you're going to remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. An API is simply how software systems talk to each other in a way that is safe, consistent, and automatic. Without them, the modern digital economy literally couldn't exist. So to really bring it all home, just think about all the different hats an API wears. It's the waiter, right? Taking your very specific order. It's the rule book, laying out exactly how you're supposed to interact. It's the gatekeeper, making sure everything is safe and secure. And yeah, sometimes it's even a translator, helping two totally different systems speak the same language. So I'll just leave you with this thought. APIs are the hidden language of our digital world. There are these constant, structured conversations happening just behind the screen, all the time. So what conversations are shaping your day right now? From the news you read this morning to the movie you're going to watch tonight, trust me, they are absolutely everywhere.